If there is one thing we as an anime community can come to one unified opinion on, it would be that we all prefer 2D to 3D and CGI. It looks ugly, out of place, and in general a lot of people frown on CGI, yet there are also arguments for it, like how it helps animators, and quite frankly some scenes would be close to impossible to do without CGI. But let's back up a bit, because sure, in Demon Slayer it looks out of place. In Chainsaw Man you can see the clear difference between post and before transformation, and that's not to mention the nightmare examples out there. But if we look at Trigun Stampede, a purely CGI anime for example, I can't really say it looks bad. Or hell, if you discount the fish monsters, Demon Slayer constantly blends 2D and 3D effects, and it's one of the most visually stunning shows of all time. And what I think this proves is that 2D animation doesn't have to be superior, or that 3D and 2D can't mix together. However, it does require pre-planning and skill. It requires that it's something intended from the beginning, something worked into the art style of the show, and not just a solution to save time, because while it does save animators time, it does not save animators. You see, CGI is great for big robot battles, specific shots, and without tools like rotoscoping, Chainsaw Man would have been infinitely more time consuming to make. And speaking of, you do know who made the Chainsaw Man anime, right? That's right, MAPPA, the same studio that's infamous for animators' poor working conditions, and as of recently even had animators running away mid-project. So why is it that even with the thumbs up for CGI they still suffer? Well, it's actually quite simple. When animators can use CGI, it helps them a lot, and even if it looks slightly weird sometimes, I think that's just an L we as the anime community will have to take. But when it becomes industry standard, when it's used all the time, and we as a fanbase say that's okay, we are entering a new realm. Because animators aren't being treated poorly by CGI or 2D animation, they are being mistreated by a company, a business board, and when CGI becomes normalized to use, it primarily benefits the company and can even harm the animators. In fact, during Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, you could find animators complaining and voicing their displeasure on Twitter. It wasn't only about their working environments, but also in the quality they were producing. Because the truth is that they care about what they do, and when a studio works on something they love, it shows. The only thing the normalization of, let's call it, unnecessary CGI does is it allows for the people above the animators to order them to use it with the ultimate goal of adapting more anime and hence getting more profit.
I gotta do it, man.
But okay, working conditions aside, if there is unnecessary CGI, there has to be necessary CGI, right? And I know, but hear me out. While technically speaking everything could be animated, with Akira being a prime example, granted even that one is not without its CGI examples, I do think we have to be reasonable. Let me ask you, is it reasonable that animators should spend a huge amount of time on complex 3D models and textures when they could use CGI to aid them in that process? Is it reasonable that they spend weeks on one large battle, or is it reasonable that maybe they just focus on the primary action taking place and then use CGI for the background army? Or as we mentioned earlier, that they animate each and every chainsaw spike on Chainsaw Man's head, when they can just use rotoscoping and match the animation with the real chainsaw. And truth be told, is it reasonable might be muddying the waters a bit, because it's actually very simple. Would you rather have 10 out of 10 animation and have a much bigger time frame between seasons, or would you be okay with a 9 out of 10 animation, granted they do take the CGI into account from the beginning? Of course, that's not to say that I want 6 out of 10 animation just for a company to poop out animation at the speed of sound. My point is, it's not black and white, and when we acknowledge it's a grayscale, we can finally have an honest discussion about it. Speaking of honesty, if you want my honest opinion on Disney, click here. Please consider supporting me by using my affiliate link down below to NordVpn. Apart from helping the channel, trust me, it will help you out whether you're using streaming services or the high seas. With that said, take care, bye!